Hello, MotoAmerica fans. It's time for another episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you may even learn something from this unlikely pair and their special guest. The mic is yours, Paul and Sean.
Hello, MotoAmerica fans, and welcome to this latest edition of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice. I am Bice, and on the other end of the table is Carruthers, Communications Manager for MotoAmerica. And we are here at Pittsburgh International Race Complex in Wampum, Pennsylvania. And I always like the name Wampum because I feel like that's what these guys do when they win races. They don't just win, they wamp them. So anyway, that's my joke for the day. Dad joke, right, Paul? Yeah. So we are here with a couple Revit Twins Cup riders, bitter rivals. How many points away are they from each other?
1
point away from each other.
I don't know. I think
we're about to be. We're trying to set it up.
He's like getting all set up. Right.
Yeah, it's like I watch a little bit of professional wrestling. I know how it goes. So,
I bet you watch a lot of it.
Veloce Racing Aprilia rider Jody Berry and Rodeo Racing Warhorse HSBK Racing's Anthony Mazziotto.
It's a lot of letters.
Jody is from something in the hills, Illinois.
Lake
in the hills. And Anthony is from Hamilton, New Jersey. So Midwest, East Coast, and we're going to have a throwdown here. So guys, let's talk about the season. Jody, let me talk to you to start with. The season you've had an interesting season. Let me put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about what's going on or how it's going?
It started out really strong, really good. We had some mishaps in the middle of the season, but we got that all sorted out. Yeah, ready to get back at it.
Right.
But yeah, it's always tough to start a season off so strong and kind of lose the lead that we worked to build up and everything. But like I said, I didn't expect anything less from him.
Right.
Getting back out there and making it an interesting season. So.
Right. And Jody, so I mean, all things considered, it's not too bad. You're still in the fight. Yeah, no, we're definitely fortunate for what we've had to deal with versus the consequences of it and everything. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Still to be in the fight. So. Okay. And then Anthony, you, I guess your arc has gone in a little bit of a different direction. And you were on the team that Jody's on last year, and I mix that up a lot. Kevin Rodeo hates me for that, but at any rate, you're with Rodeo Racing. Gus Rodeo is your teammate, but you're the single lone Twins Cup rider on that team, and you're also on an Aprilia. So you guys are both racing in the same brand of motorcycles. How has your season been going so far?
Our season's been going pretty good. We started off maybe a little bit behind restarting, trying to redevelop the motorcycle from scratch because they had not ran the Twins Cup program the year prior. But I think after we got through maybe the first 2-3 rounds, we started really getting things figured out and starting to really have some consistent finishes here towards the end of the season. And I'm trying to hope that we can continue going on in this direction and finish off strong.
It's funny how their seasons are completely right. Because I wrote the preview this week and it's like, he started off like unbeatable and you think, oh, he's just going to win the rest of the races. And then obviously he started to have some issues. And then this guy comes on pretty strong. But it's, the thing about that class, obviously there's a point between you guys, but it's not going to be just you guys racing for wins. Like one of you could win and the other guy could have a good day and still get fourth because that's how strong the class is. So that kind of makes it more interesting, at least from our standpoint where we get to watch. Yeah. Am I right?
Yeah, it's really not even between the two of us. There's still like 3-4 guys that have a chance at winning this championship. It's going to be a good run all the way down to the end, I think.
Now, we'll start with you. Obviously, New Jersey's coming up, so that's a good one for you. What about this and then Barber? Is it 3 rounds that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, so I really enjoy this track a lot and Jersey as well since it's like my home track and I live so close to it. But Barber's also, I think, a good one. It's just we're back on the East Coast now, and these are all the tracks that I've ridden growing up, and they're familiar to me. So coming back to tracks that I've been at previously, like not just 1 or 2 times, but tracks I've ridden at a decent amount of times, makes me feel a little more comfortable for ending the season this way.
How about you, Jody? You good with the 3 that are coming up?
Oh yeah, yeah. These are.
I mean, you're gonna lie anyways because you're not gonna tell them I suck here.
No, it's I don't know. I enjoy the rest of the tracks that are on the schedule and everything. So.
And you're an East Coast guy, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, this is like he said, these are the tracks we grew up racing. There's not much in the Midwest other than MotoAmerica and Blackhawk. We never went all the way out to the West Coast. So I wish they had more Twins Cup races. I wish they felt better.
Yeah. Is it a lot better when you have the two?
It's just more racing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our team puts a lot of effort into getting out here and everything, but it's kind of a bummer when we only have one race.
Right. So you got two here and then one at the last two, right?
Yeah. It's not as bad on the East Coast ones. I mean, obviously we still wish to have two races, but at least on the East Coast rounds, we're not traveling all the way across the country to go race one time.
Yeah, it seems good.
Right. Yeah. So Jody, from where you're located, what tracks do you race at locally? Do you go to? Is there a track in Joliet still, or?
Yeah, that's Autobahn.
Autobahn.
They don't got much going on there. They got a race once a year through CCS and a lot of track days. And then Blackhawk.
Blackhawk, right.
Yeah, because good old CCS doesn't race MotoAmerica anymore, or Groton, or Gingerman, or any of the other Midwestern kind of tracks. So it's Blackhawk.
And do you go to track days and ride, or do you ride moto, or what do you do between rounds? Work. And what is your work?
Cars. I work on cars.
Okay.
We do a lot of that. I mean, we still mess around on pit bikes and stuff, but I don't have a lot of track days or anything that I go to. So when I can get seat time, I definitely take it.
Your team is actually a pretty good sized team. It's got a big footprint. You got, let's see, there are 3 riders on the team. Two with Caleb DeCarroll. That's right.
Yeah. 2
riders. And it's a pretty big transporter. And, the footprint's good. And you pointed out to me that you have a setup day shirt, which you're wearing today, which a lot of the teams have a different shirt than they wear the rest of the weekend. So these guys are official about this stuff. With you working on cars, do you ever get involved? How much do you talk to your crew chief or anything about the mechanics of the bike or setting it up, since you've got some technical knowledge?
I mean, quite a bit actually, because I have technical knowledge and everything, we can kind of discuss what a certain change is going to do to the bike or why a certain change did something, whatever. So, it definitely helps a little bit to kind of have a decent understanding or maybe a little bit more of an input to the bike than just, hey, it's chattering, fix it. That kind of thing. So,
right. And then, Maj, your team, you have Gus Rodeo on your team as well as you, and Gus is in a different class. He started out racing in Twins Cup, but decided to focus more on Junior Cup for the rest of the season. Seems to have helped him. I mean, he seems like he's getting better results now, and I know he did well last weekend at the N2 Weir endurance race. So how does it work with you and him? Do you guys talk to each other, or are the classes so totally different that you really can't even compare notes or anything?
No, Gus is like my little brother. So me and him have been working together since he ever started riding like road race bikes of any type, like CR50s with street tires on them at the go-kart track. And I was always there trying to help him out and help him get to the next level. So we bounce ideas off each other throughout the weekend. Like, say he's having a little bit of trouble in some certain areas, like we'll talk back and forth and see if we can fix it and make it a little bit better.
It seems like just a couple of years ago when he was such a little kid, Gus. Like, remember, I think he had his broken leg, didn't he?
Yeah, he
had a broken leg, and he was a tiny little kid, and now he's like fully grown Mazziotto style.
Oh, he's bigger than me now. He's like an inch or 2 taller than me already.
Did either of you guys do the endurance race here?
Gus did, yeah.
No, but you two didn't.
I did not.
No, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you guys, you mentioned about two races at every round. It's important, especially those West Coast ones, for guys like you guys who are in the East or Midwest. If you're going to go way out there, it'd be nice to have more than one race at a round. And the seat time is obviously important. Do either of you do any endurance racing?
Well, when CCS, I ride with DJ Birch on his R6 during the CCS endurance rounds. And I know there's one like the weekend before, right? Jersey?
Yeah, the team challenge.
So I'm going to try to make that one. That'll be a good track time. So, but yeah, I mean, that's like, when I can, I'll travel to try to go to a round or something. So.
And same thing for you, Anthony. Do you try to get in some? I know you do a lot of kind of supermoto on kart track stuff, but do you do any endurance racing?
Yeah, whenever there's something going on, like next weekend, I'll probably do the one before New Jersey because it's so close. Whenever there's something close going on and I have some time to get out and do it, like whether it's endurance racing, like just club racing, like track days, anything, I try to get some more seat time on the motorcycle whenever I can.
What do you guys think of this track? You good with it?
This is a sweet place.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's awesome.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's so nice compared to some of the other tracks we go to. But I don't know. I like the layout too.
Yeah. Is the chicane weird to you guys? You first, Jody? Do you think does it bother you?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, we all got to go through it, no matter how janky it is. So,
Right.
but no, it doesn't bother me at all. I know a lot of people complain about it, but it's cool.
It wouldn't be good without it though.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, I've ridden it without it, like way back in the day before MotoAmerica came here. I'm pretty sure they didn't have it. It wasn't terrible. I mean, I don't know what I was riding here, maybe a 600 or something.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean,
Might be terrible on a superbike.
That's the thing.
100%. Kind
Yeah.
of
How about you, Anthony?
This track's actually, it's pretty good both ways, right? So the chicane, it's interesting because it's a different type of corner, and this track's pretty fast and flowing everywhere. But when you take the chicane out of it, that actually next corner is really sweet. Coming through there full width on like a 600. It's dangerous. There's like a cliff on the other side of that guardrail. So
Is there?
oh yeah. So I could see why we run the chicane, but that turn actually is really awesome without like coming in there at full tilt.
Do you use the chicane to figure out setting up for a pass or passing in it or passing coming out of it? Is it a passing thing at all to use that chicane?
For Hayden Schultz, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden's pretty good in the chicane.
Last year we had Brainerd before last year, and here it was just like super awkward because I injured my knee at Brainerd, and it was like super awkward going in there, and I was probably one of the earliest breakers, and freaking Hayden would send it up the inside of me just about every lap, and he made a meme about it, so that was pretty cool. But I don't know, I feel like it's going to be a good passing point, especially on the last lap. I mean, I don't know what the rules are about running people wide, or if you cut it because somebody ran you out. I don't know about any of that, but I think it'll be a good passing point.
There's really a lot of good, like 2 really good passing spots in the last 2 corners. So if you can't get it done in the chicane, you always got another shot in the last corner coming into this light bulb at the top of the hill.
Which is that the water tower?
What is it? Turn
light bulb?
18, I think it is.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you guys, that water tower is such a noticeable landmark of this
it
track.
is the water tower.
So
turn.
you use that as some kind of a marker of some sort?
No, it's kind of off to the track in a spot where like you don't really use it for like the brakes or like a tipping point or something like that. But I guess you could call it like the water tower turn. There's some big water towers around the outside there.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you kind of look at as you're coming out of the turn. You're like,
you know where you are on the track.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. You don't really see it until you get up and over the turn.
Yeah.
So one of you, most likely one of you will be Twins Cup champion. What's next? Like either way, win or lose. I mean, do you have I see you over there at that Ducati team a little bit. And I mean, I know you'd probably love to be on Josh Herron's bike at some point, and maybe Josh Herron's on the super bike or Josh Herron goes away or whatever. But is that something, I mean, you striving to get back on a good bike in the super sport class. Is that accurate?
Oh, for sure. I'm always over there plucking Bobby's ear.
Right. I watched that
thing. Yeah, that would be a really cool class to get into, especially on that bike, or even like some kind of a stock 1000 deal. Cause then you could do the super bike races too. And I think that would be a really awesome move. So that way I can get some good exposure, like in the super bike races as well as stock 1000.
Yeah. I think the stock 1000 is a pretty good situation there because like you said, you're actually learning how to ride something that's pretty close to a super bike. And
and if you don't do the Superbike Cup and you sign up as a Superbike entrant as well, you get to ride with like all the fast guys and you can learn some things from them guys. They're there for a reason. So
right. What about you down there? What is next year? I think you're pretty committed to your work life too, right? I mean, this isn't all you have.
No, I got a couple of eggs in different baskets, so to speak, but I don't know. Racing has just always been, it's like every little kid's dream. So as long as I can keep doing it, I'm happy. It'd be cool to move up, cool to get on a different bike or something. But, if I got to stay where I'm at, I'm pretty content with that too.
And that team seems to be like on the verge of bigger things.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? There might be an Aprilia 1000 at some point.
Who knows? I don't know about that. They're dragging their feet pretty hardcore over there. But I don't know. Aprilia, that is not the team.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I didn't know that this was going to happen until December. So
right.
Everything has a habit of being last minute. So on my side of things.
Does Bass Pro Shops give you any money?
No, you kidding me? Nobody's giving
Maybe they will after this.
They might after this because this is world renowned.
And he's going to get a Honda deal.
Yeah,
even though there's
absolutely.
a Honda deal.
1,000 on the Honda.
It is kind of strange that you guys have in common the fact that both of you were away from this MotoAmerica for a while. It's kind of weird. You mostly because of injury, wasn't it, Anthony? Didn't you break your femur or knee or something?
So I did. I broke my femur. It was about a year after I had taken off from racing. My parents were funding a lot of my racing when I was coming up, and we were in super sport, and it was kind of an expensive class to be in. And there wasn't really much other than like super sport, the 390 Cup and super bike at that time. So, finances got a bit tough. So once I graduated out of high school, my parents really wanted me to start figuring it out and how to get this stuff on my own and developing a team pretty much and getting it all sorted. So at first I couldn't get it happening. So I was cutting hair for a little while and working a normal job. And then I'd gotten an opportunity to fill in for an injured rider. And then that led to a bunch of opportunities to me being here today.
You cut hair at all anymore?
I do actually, yeah, at my house. Cause it's kind of hard working in a shop, traveling around the country all year. So I cut a lot of my friends in my house, and then certain racetracks, if I can get a certain amount of people like that want haircuts, I'll bring my stuff to the track too and do some cuts on Thursday.
It's kind of odd a guy that with long hair does haircuts. It's kind of like you wouldn't want to eat from a skinny chef. You know what I mean? I want a fat chef feeding me.
Oh, proves he's so busy he can't cut his own hair.
I think I'd be a good haircut.
we might have to do that.
Always get the fade.
And Jody, your situation, it was an injury, but you kind of got away from racing a little bit because different reason than that, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, kind of same thing as Anthony here is like, graduated high school. It was time to kind of, I don't know, not pick one or the other, but kind of either realize that it's not going to become a living or, figure out how to make a living.
Yeah.
But once we figured that out, again, same thing, just kind of led to some opportunities and stuff. Actually take a step back and do some club races and chase some contingency and stuff. So that was awesome.
You guys are both kind of similar in that you seem to give, zero F's, as they say, about a lot of things. I mean, I feel like I'm sitting in a chair and I'm like halfway back and halfway forward. Like I'm, if you tip back in a chair, I feel like my life is always on the edge like that. Like I'm never comfortable.
Too anxious.
Stronger chairs.
Too anxious. Man.
Exactly. It's like I don't know what it is. And I think I get some energy from that. Yeah. But you guys, I mean, I'm not saying you're not high energy, but you guys seem to take stuff pretty much in stride.
They're chill.
Would you say, Jody, is that kind of how your family describes you?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part. Everybody thinks I'm from California.
Right, right.
I don't know why.
No, I do.
That vibe, I guess.
You do.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm like always kind of a guy that goes with emotions,
Right.
Just, if it happens, cool. If not, like, no worries. Just figure out either how to make it happen or just go about your day.
And Anthony, same way?
Yeah, I just live my life day by day and try and enjoy every moment. So just, I don't know. There's, like I said last year in an interview I did with them guys, and it's just no point in being in a crap mood all the time, because you transfer that energy to other people, and why would you want to do that?
Right.
Everyone else's day.
And one of the things that seems different, now this may not be the case, Jody, because I know this about Anthony. It's like, it's Anthony and Gus and I guess Brandon Posh. You guys have a kind of a wolf pack going, that Northeast New Jersey.
Yeah.
Do you have guys that you hang out with? I mean,
no.
You're a one-man wolf pack is what you're saying.
I mean, I got my buddy Alex that he grew up racing motocross. So he's really the only one around me that rides anything. So,
right.
Most of the other people I know through school or through job or something like that. So, and I didn't really grow up with too many kids my age racing. It wasn't like you said, he's got Gus and Brandon and everything. And always going to car track and stuff. Maybe not you, but like I said, I always see Brandon.
I do a lot of riding with Brandon. It was really not Gus until recently. I mean, he's just
that's true.
Turning 17 years old. But so he's got time. Me and Brandon did grow up like since day one. It was me and Brandon always racing with each other. So
yeah, right, exactly. Because you guys, I mean, Benjamin Smith is
even
from,
Ben, yeah. Me,
I
actually, there's a bunch of us out of the NJ Mini GP.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many guys came up, and NJMP New Jersey Mini GP.
Yep.
Is it all out of New Jersey Motorsports Park?
So they actually just expanded. There's like South Florida Mini GP. There's NY Mini GP. At first, it was just NJ Mini GP, and they do like a one-off round here actually in Pittsburgh because it's not that far away.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've done a lot for themselves since they started out. And a lot of these kids that are here doing the mini cup stuff, like even here in the MotoAmerica paddock, they all came up through some kind of a mini GP program. And it just so happened to be a couple of us New Jersey kids and PA people that came through to NJ mini GP.
Yeah. So we look at the classes, the entry list for every round, and there's been such a strange evolution that, Twins Cup, Revit Twins Cup has like 39, or actually 43, 46 maybe, 46 entries. It's massive.
Should have 2 races.
Well, that's exactly. but it's grown exponentially. And then Junior Cup, which actually had a lot of entries, it's a little bit down. And I don't know if it's I'm not saying the competition is down, but the number of entries are a little bit lower. And you talk about New Jersey Motorsports, NJ Mini GP, sorry. Is there another group of kids that are going to be coming up? Do you think we're going to have more Junior Cup kids in the future?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more, especially with the Ovale Cup you guys run now and the Northern American Talent Cup. Like all these kids are going to be coming up at some point, and it's probably going to be soon because Junior Cups, it's 14 years old, right? I could assume a lot of these kids that are doing these series here are probably 12, 13 years old, and they'll be up on the move soon.
Okay.
A lot of the guys that we've talked to that raced like RC Cup, they say it was like the time of their lives.
That was some good years.
I remember you kids just riding bikes and skateboards and just hanging out at night when everyone's gone and just having a good time, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Anthony or anything, but that was kind of one of the races that we showed up to. You know, I mean, everything was homologated, right? Springs,
right,
everything.
So there wasn't really a whole lot of changes to be had or anything like that. So it was kind
2 sets of tires.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, we got 2 tire stickers, I think.
It was something low like that.
So did you like that better than? Really?
Well, better than. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like better than.
It was easier.
And it's nice to race in something where everybody's on the same, right?
Yeah. I mean, other than the bike costing a pretty decent amount of dough, I'm pretty sure it was cheaper. Tires, fuel, that whole thing, entry, travel. Because I mean, you didn't have to have a rig for it. I mean, a canopy and a set of stands and warmers is what you needed. So, no, that was really fun. I mean, that was the kind of racing that I give credit to who most of us are as riders today because of that. Just like kind of you go out there and figure it out. You know, rely on the suspension, the tires, just going right with the bike.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I give credit to that as to why I don't mind, some things that are subpar on the bike or something. So.
Now, did you both end up going to Europe? You did, right?
Yeah, I went to 2 years actually because I did the series 2 years in a row. So
right.
I did 15 and 16. And I think they took
it's like Silverstone?
Top 5 the first year and the top 3 the second year. It was, Silverstone. And then the second year was at Assen.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's a good experience.
It was really cool. I had a really good time over there. It was Chris Fillmore, all them guys from KTM. They really put on a real cool experience for us kids. Like this is probably one of the only couple times I've ever even ridden in a different country. And I don't know, it's really cool to experience how other people do stuff.
One of the things I remember about that RC Cup that cracks me up, and Paul's going to remember this too, is you, Anthony. Tell me, Jody, if you remember this. When you guys were riding around on those spec bikes, here's Anthony directing traffic all the time. You go this way, I'll go this way. We don't even know what you were doing. Do you remember doing that? Do you know what we're saying?
He was trying to get guys out of his way and to follow him, I think.
Yeah, either I was probably trying to get somebody to stop following me for qualifying laps, or I don't know, something of that nature.
Do you remember that at all? No. Oh my God. We used to go, what's he doing out there? He's pointing.
Or like follow me through the race. Like it's hard, like especially on bikes like that. Like some riders will be faster in like other sections of the racetrack, and some will be faster in like other sections. So I might lead the section and be tapping my tail, like follow me through here, and then you
because if you're working against each other, the guy gets away.
Yeah, and then other than that, you get a big group of riders instead, maybe just a couple. So,
do you guys think that all riders understand that idea of you tap, like get on my back end? They know.
They know what you're signaling. It's whether they want to listen or not, for sure.
So sometimes they don't want to do that because of what reason? Why?
Because they don't like to be told what to do.
No.
They're kind of giving you the bird. They're like, don't tell me with you. I'm going to show you.
Okay, so I'm going to pass your ass instead of giving behind you.
Right.
Exactly. That's usually how it goes.
And then the guy in the front gets away because you're doing that back and forth stuff.
But now in Twins Cup, it's gotten to the point where it's the Aprilia RS660 versus the Yamaha YZF R7. And Yamaha's put quite a bit into that bike. They've got a few riders out there. Obviously, Corey Ventura has been doing pretty well of late on the R7. What is, for both you guys, since you both ride the Aprilia, what does the Aprilia do well? What is it good at? And you can go first if you want. Is that a tough
one?
one?
On the hot seat first.
Is it stuff you don't want to say or you're not sure?
I think the Aprilia works really good, like through certain racetracks. So like some tracks where like they have really long corners, or not long corners, but long straightaways off like these really short corners. The Yamaha seems to excel there because they have a lot of like extra grunt at the bottom. But like racetracks, like I think here, New Jersey, even Barber, like more tracks where there's not a lot of straightaways and there's a lot more flowing corners. I think the Aprilia works pretty good at those because it's a good handling motorcycle and it's fast. I think Yamaha put a lot of effort halfway into this year. Obviously, they put a lot of effort at the beginning of this year too, but once they seen Aprilia start pulling away on this championship, I think they put a lot more effort into these Yamahas because they kind of came out of nowhere. If they, like midway through the season, it was like the Yamahas were fast. So,
yeah, I agree.
Is that kind of the way it feels? It's like the Aprilia handles real well, I guess is what.
Yeah, I've never ridden a R7,
right?
So I can't say that it doesn't handle as good, but just from what the guys are, people around the paddock are telling me and everything, it's just the Aprilia's got it in the corners and the Yamaha's got it in the sides.
Okay.
Like you said, I mean, it seems like every time we show up to a race, the Yamaha's got something else. As we're just kind of chilling where we were at the beginning of the year, I feel like, but I don't know, we're making headway in like suspension setups and stuff.
Right.
There's really not much we can do on the Aprilia to make more power. Really, we're a lot more limited than the Yamahas because it comes with more horsepower, so they give you a lot more limitations on what you can do, and then the Yamaha gets to pretty much build a superbike motor.
Yeah, they get rods we don't. I think pretty sure that's our limiting factor.
Oh, okay.
So
yes, you have to use OEM conrods on those engines, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a little over my head, a little over my pay grade there. But, well, not over my head. Pay grade.
You're
We're just the riders, Sean.
I get it, but you guys know what you're talking about, so I understand
to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but the idea that you're on, I don't know, it's funny. I kind of call those Twins Cup bikes middleweight bikes, but it seems like people call them lightweight bikes in a lot of ways. Although in the endurance last weekend, they considered it a middleweight class, I guess. So my question to you is, it's not really necessarily a stepping stone that you go from here to maybe Super Sport to Stock 1000 to Super Bike. You guys possibly could go Twins Cup to Stock 1000 or Super Bike. What might be the next step for you guys? And do you have any idea? Is it dependent on what kind of rides you get, or what would you like to do? Would you guys like to still be in Twins Cup next year, no matter what happens?
I'd like to move forward, honestly. Just because, that's like the nature of the beast,
Right.
You graduate.
Right.
You graduate to the next thing, and then it's always the next thing. So, I mean, as long as I'm racing next year in the paddock here, I'd be a pretty happy guy. But yeah, I mean, the want to always move forward is there. I know there's a lot of talk about the Twins Cup pace versus the Super Sport pace, and the Super Sport, they're not making 600s anymore.
Right.
It's what's going to happen with that class? The whole next gen thing is cool. It seems like it's got a lot of promising features to the class and everything, and broaden the spectrum a little bit. But yeah, always moving forward.
Yeah.
So when we were doing club race and stuff, that lightweight thing, that used to be like the SV650,
right?
And that kind of class. So that's that confusion there. But
okay,
like he said, we're running pretty competitive lap times to be running in the Super Sport class. I think we'd be doing pretty decent. Maybe not obviously at the front, but I think we'd be somewhere in the mix there. I think the Twins class is really comparable to the old MotoAmerica stock 600 class. I did that for a year, and then they went straight to Super Sport. They canceled the stock 600 and did Super Sport. But from what I've experienced, I think the lap times from the stock 600 class to the Twins class this year are very, very close. In the horsepower to motorcycles is kind of similar, and the way they get ridden is similar. So I think it's pretty solid motorcycle.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, bike development over the years is just going to get crazier and crazier. It's not. You don't see year to year the MotoGP. They're never going slow. It's always they're going same or faster, depending on the riders. The bike development as far as the R7 and RS660 is completely just taking away any image of lightweight bikes we had growing up. Like you said, the SVs compared to these
68
bikes,
horsepower back in the day.
yeah, compared to whatever Toyotas make when they're stock, it's a big jump.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be awesome if Suzuki came out with a new
kind of SV?
They need that, don't you think? I mean,
I don't know. I think they need to go back to the drawing board on that one because if they're going to use anything that's like the third gen or the second gen, then it ain't going to be comparable. At least in my opinion. Who knows?
Right.
But I don't know. They got the 750. They seem pretty invested in that super bike class. So
yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you guys about two things. Well, one thing, but both of you about it. Tell me about the corner workers out there, what your relationship is around the track with those people. Do you notice them? Do you appreciate them? Do you wave to them? What's it all about? What's the relationship?
Love, hate.
Right.
You love them because they're there for you and you need them and you can't be racing without them. They're somebody to get mad at though when you crash instead of getting mad at yourself, and I feel bad because I've taken some stuff out on corner workers before. But in the long run, we can't race without them. They're seriously helping us out, as far as being out there, helping us with bikes and making sure we're okay. And, it's something that this whole race series, it wouldn't be anything without them, because of the tremendous amount of work they do for us.
Right.
So,
have you ever felt bad afterwards and gone to try to find them?
100%. Because you make a dumb mistake. You're not trying to be like, oh, I'm an idiot, or something like that. You're like, oh, get out of the way. Let me get the bike or something like that. And then you feel bad because it's the heat of the moment, the adrenaline. So, yeah, I found a couple of them and said, I'm sorry.
And what's their reaction?
They totally understand.
Yeah.
They get yelled at all day.
99% of the time, you go I've gone up to one guy this year and said, hey, my bad, dude. And he's like, that's not even comparable to what X said to me or what this person said to me. And I'm like, well, that's good to know.
How about you, Anthony?
Our corner workers are awesome. Like Jody said, we wouldn't be able to do this if they weren't here. Every race too, no matter if I finish well or if I don't finish well at all, I'm always waving at them guys. They're always putting their hard effort into being out here. I'm actually friendly with some of the guys. I know a lot of you, the MotoAmerica guys too. I've been becoming friends with some of these guys too. It's a big family. We travel as a group, we go from racetrack to racetrack all throughout the country, and it's the same people you're always seeing. So you begin to build friendships with these kind of people.
Sure do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I brought it up. I wanted to talk about the corner worker situation because on August 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have essentially an open call to action. We've put it up on our website and it's also on our Facebook page, but we've got a link for you to click on and go to our Zoom presentation with David Hawley, who is our senior marshal, and he's going to basically give you the rundown on what it's like to be a corner worker. He'll show some interesting things. I saw one of the clips they had. They had a clip of, it was MotoGP. Paul, you might remember the crash, but I think it was Marquez crashed and then Cal Crutchlow crashed right where he did or something. And Crutchlow ended up getting a penalty because it sometimes happens. And the part of that is you've got to keep your head on a swivel when you're on the sidelines like that, because crashes can happen anytime, anywhere. But that's the kind of stuff you'll learn as being a corner worker. And a lot of our network is volunteer based, except you get free admission to the track. You get arguably the best seat in the house. You get the camaraderie of these guys. They might sometimes yell at you, but they're going to for sure, apologize later. And, it's all good, right? And to get that close to these riders that they would even talk to you it's a good thing anyway. So
we're not that cool, Sean.
The pleasure is actually ours that we get to talk to the corner workers.
Sean, I think you should go through the school and do a session.
It's funny because David wants me to do that.
Yeah, you should do a Friday morning practice session you wear those overalls, right? No, I want to see this.
Well, I don't know.
You can write a story about it.
Yeah, but we're getting
Maz can crash in your corner on purpose.
We're getting towards the end Listen, if somebody sees me out there dressed all in white, they're going to think that's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they're going to target fixate right on me. Plus, it's getting later in the year, and I don't really wear white in the winter.
Is that an air fence out there, or is that Sean?
So anyway, please join us on August 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern, wherever you are in the country, essentially wherever you are in the world. And you just have to click on that Zoom. It's on our website, and it's also on our Facebook. And you guys can find out what it's like to be a corner worker. These jobs start out in a volunteer situation, but there are paid positions too. And if you do it a lot over a few years, these guys get to know you. And like Anthony said, you guys are family for sure, and extremely important to us as well as our riders. So anyway, I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I wish you both luck.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
Thank you.
hopefully it's one of you two guys, and we don't have any skin in the game, so we hope you go until the very end. So
Oh yeah.
we'll take it to
Keep it
Barber.
exciting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Oh, thank you guys.